Hey everybody, this is Perch. Um, a lot of you write in. Very actually, you know what? I take it back. Not a lot of you. Pardon me. I'm coughing. I'm coming down with a cold. You know what thought crossed my mind the other day is because I record all these videos and I kind of process them, in mass, and then I will kind of put them up randomly. Like I don't tag them like video one, video two, video three. I put like a little subject header so I can remember what it is when I make the thumbnail. Sometimes I do a bad job of that, and they're all in whatever order that it happens to fall in. And so I've talked about like going on trips, going on a holiday, but they appear in the wrong order. So you're hearing me say things like, I got back from this trip. And then like 3 weeks later, I'm going on a trip. And you're like, wow, that Perch has traveled around a lot. No, same trip. Just, this is the way the sequence fell. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. I mean, at this point, it's charm. Every now and then somebody will write in going, you should really put more effort into your channel because it's like, you know, I, it is what it is. By the same token, I have no frustration in my heart when somebody passes me or has more subs or does a better job. I mean, good, especially when they're working for it. Hell, you deserve it, man. But anyway, that's kind of the way it goes. Anyway, a few of you, not many now, because I've bitched about it enough, will write in telling me when some other channel or some other stream or something is talking crap about me. And usually it's, hey, do you want to respond here? Do you want to get in there? And like, what do you think? And I'll be honest with you, I rarely recognize the people who send me these links. They're not regular writers. They're not people I recognize from streams or from comments or any of that. And so I kind of get the impression it's the person themselves who made the video, especially when it's like a smaller channel. And what they're hoping for is like, hey, you want to get in here and fight? Then we'll get some engagement. Everybody loves engagement. That's how it feels. It has that. It definitely has that vibe to it. Like it's like kids in the playground going, fight, fight, fight. That's kind of how it feels. And every now and then I catch somebody like, hey, this is not a very clever sock puppet alias. It is, anyway, I always find it kind of weird. But there's one guy who's really been trying to get my attention for a while. He'll put in like, Perch, what is he talking about? And again, like I said before, good Christ, man, you go against somebody, it's been at the recording this video, your attempt to kind of troll like Perch is an idiot. It was done 3 weeks ago, and by the time it's posted, it will be like 3 weeks from now. Like this is the worst engagement you could possibly get. And I'm not going to respond to that video because it's dumb farming. I looked in the comments of this thing and it said something like, I would appreciate if Perch would come on my channel and defend his mistaken beliefs. And it's like, yeah, I'll bet you would. I always like people like, let's have a debate on my channel, streamed where I can get super chats. It's like, dude, fuck off. Sorry. I should do live streams again someday. But they're time consuming. I don't have the time. And I like to talk about before. I stress too much, man. I'll go on Wes's show every once in a while because it's, he's got his system down real good and I don't have to do anything. I just get to show up and it's great. But in general, but that's it. I'm not going on like, debate me, bro. No, thank you. Coward. Yeah. Okay. Sure. I'm going to spend that extra time having sex with my wife. And yeah, you go ahead and make those streams. How about that? Anyway. Cheap bird. So anyway, this narrative, the video I got pointed to was about a take I did. Christ, it has to be like a year ago around Bobby Drake. And the take was, my take was basically that you can believe whatever you want, but if you use, if you're looking for canon, and in particular, a lot of people who make the Bobby Drake was always gay, the character is always coded gay, it's like, he's always written this way. They use one panel out of X-Men #1, and they conveniently forget other panels in X-Men #1. And so they take this thing, and then this is their headcanon, and they use this as definitive proof. And this is a lot of comics, by the way. People will take a thing, a moment, and suddenly it becomes this is, it was clearly a mistake. And Marvel even went into the whole no prize territory around some of this to kind of laugh it off and pretend some of this stuff was just what it was, which was, people reading into it or an error, And but in the case of Bobby Drake, the way I look at it is this way. And this is a very nuanced position, but it's also common sense. Every now and then people take shots at me like, Perch likes these, these in the middle kind of positions. No, they just require intelligence. Honestly, if you're saying, I don't understand Perch is in the middle, why don't he does this? You gotta like look in the mirror a little bit. You might be dumb, because a lot of stuff is really basic common sense. And to me, if you're a fan, if you're a reader, or hell, if you're not working for the comic company and you believe in kind of your headcanon, your belief of how you've read the character, what you've done, if you believe that Bobby Drake is gay, that to me, that's your business. It is. No one's going to no one in their right mind is going to get there and try and stop you. Like, you can't think that way. No, everybody, all of you. And maybe I'm picking on a more charged topic around, Bobby Drake being gay, but just think about anything like, what's Bishop's true origin? How old is Magneto really? All this kind of stuff. Even things as simple, like we've talked about before, around who would win a fight between the Hulk and Superman. You're welcome to have whatever beliefs you want, because you're the reader and you can interpret things how you want to, and that's fine. As a reader, that's your right. It's okay. As a writer coming into this stuff, if you want to take things in a different direction because this is your headcanon, this is always what you wanted to do, well, you got to convince the publisher and the editor this is okay. And you have to live with people saying that conflicts with my headcanon, my belief of what's going on. And if you're okay with that, if you're okay, just like, I feel strong, this is the way it should be, this is always the way it's been in my mind, then, and I don't care if people like it or not. I don't care if people say I'm wrong. I'm standing up for what I believe in. It's your right to do that, just like it's a publisher's right to hire you or fire you. Where, to me, there's a major difference between these two sentences. And it goes like this. I've always believed Bobby Drake, Iceman, was gay. Sentence number 1. Sentence number 2, the original creators clearly meant for Bobby Drake to be gay, and the proof is this one comic panel. Okay, 2 sentences. The first one is fair. You can believe whatever you want. It's your business. The second one is not true. The second one is not it's not subjective, it's objective. Again, we can't go to Stan Lee and ask him, what did you believe? But you can look at these panels and you can look at the evidence presented in front of you. You can make a call. But what you can't say is, this is proof this is what they wanted. One, because you don't know. There's no interview. There's nothing on record of Stan Lee going, yep, you caught us. This was what we were saying all along, you sneaky devil. You figured it out. There's nothing. There's no proof to this effect. It's how you read the panel. And you can read the panel any way you want, and you can act on that. It's your business. But you have to admit that you're taking something and you're putting your spin on it versus trying to stand behind. And this is where I think a lot of people get themselves into trouble with this stuff, is they try and basically shield themselves from responsibility or critique by saying, yes, he's gay now, but, he was always written this way. This is how he actually always was. So you can't be mad at me because this is what two guys in the 60s decided, and they made this choice, not me. I'm just writing what they intended all along. That's disingenuous at best. It's just lying at worst. And I think, with a lot of this stuff, you just gotta, it comes down to self-confidence, man. If this is what you want, this is what you believe, be satisfied with it. But frankly, this is the problem with a lot of things in comics, is think about a lot of the arguments. And think about the last time you're in a comic shop and people were arguing over something that really doesn't have an answer, like, Thor versus, now I'm blanking. Thor versus Shazam. Okay. Depending on who's writing that, if there was a crossover, you might get an answer, but a lot of this is meant to be up to your, interpretation. And that's a good thing. That's one of the beauty parts of comics. It's why this topic frustrates me quite a bit, because I think one of the magical things about comics are there's so much that you get to decide yourself. There's the stories, and then you get to interpret them how you want. If you have a specific belief about a character, like Thor can definitely beat up Shazam, you have to be ready to defend it if you're going to go in and argue this. And again, you will not have an argument or a big fight if you say, in my opinion, I think Thor would win. Somebody might give you their reasons, but nobody's going to get real hostile over that. But if you say Thor will win, there's actually proof. There's been decades of proof. Well, then you're going to get people irritated because now you're not saying this is my opinion. You're saying this is the fact, and you're going to believe the fact that I choose to believe. That's what gets people hawked off. And in the case of Iceman, again, he's gay now. Marvel's not going to reverse course on that. I know people have said, hey, at some point they should reveal that Jean Grey turned him gay for reasons. That would be worse. Honestly, you think that would be funny, but it would be so much worse. Now you've got to wrestle with a whole new thing in comics, like, why is Jean Grey walking around kind of using telepathy to turn people gay? Like, that's not a storyline anybody wants. You might go, no, I kind of want that. No, you don't. The gay Phoenix saga? No, nobody wants this. But it is what it is. It's done now. So I think, but if you're going to say it was always meant to be this way, then you're going to have to stand there and you're going to have to basically have an answer for why he dated Opal, why he, did he actually fuck the White Queen, or did they just have a thing kind of going on? Like, there's all this actual continuity that says otherwise. And if you're going to wave all that aside by saying, well, he was just lying to us the whole time. He was trying to pretend. I mean, again, you can believe it, but doesn't really wash. And honestly, in many ways, it's a silly thing to argue about and go to the mat for in any case, because it was bad writing. You may love this story, but a lot of people who do like Bobby Dre being gay do not love the way he, quote unquote, came out by Jean Grey looking at his mind and being like, you're gay, bro. Like, people who like this move do not like that writing. So what are we arguing about? At some point, you just got to look at this and be like, I don't know why we're arguing over a poorly written story, and I guess the piece, here's what I see, and granted, I may be wrong, but I see the people who say, no, he was never gay, it's just bad writing, everything else, they don't get pissed off. They get angry at people telling them that, no, he was always gay. No, you just got to accept it. No, you bigot, he was always gay. They're angry at that. The people who say he was always gay get weirdly outraged and furious at people who are like, no, the comics don't prove that. They get like frothed at the mouth, and it's like, they immediately you're a bigot, you're homophobe, and all the rest of this kind of stuff. And it doesn't make any sense. None of this makes any sense. But the key point I want to make here is you got to look at some of these things, like the who would win in a fight, Thor versus Shazam. You do not have definitive proof. I'm sorry. You can make all the videos you want. You can write all the blogs you want. You can write all the evidence was always in front of us. P.S. That's kind of creepy. I don't know about, you or today, 2024, but in the 90s, when quite frankly, it felt like there was a lot more acceptance of gay people as we were pushing for marriage to be legal for gay people. There's still a lot of things that had to be done. You had the president of the United States at the time, who was Clinton, saying he didn't believe in it. But regardless, one of the things that was always considered rude is say things like, I always knew that. If somebody comes out to you, like if a friend comes out, or friend or somebody, they come out saying, I always knew he's gay. He gave off a lot of gay vibes. That was considered rude. You didn't really do that. It was, I don't know. It's just kind of, it's like saying that, like, I have this magical gaydar that can detect based on the way the person talked, and they really into George Michael, and we saw what happened to him in that airport. And it's like, you didn't do it because you're considered an asshole if you did that. Or if you did it, you like to just friends like, yeah, I actually always suspected because of this, and this. But you didn't walk around like, I always knew he was gay. But when the people who are defending the Iceman coming out thing, that when they talk, it's like, he was always coded as gay. Here, look at this one time when he was sitting there, they said, what do you want to drink? And he said Sprite, not Coke. And we know people who drink that lemon lime carbonated beverage are clearly gay. It's like, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just me, but I always read that stuff and I cringe because it just feels homophobic to me. like, look, he was wearing a pink shirt one day. I'll tell you maybe a touching story. I don't know, but when my daughter was in school, she has like first grade. I'd go for the parent teacher conference, and I'd sometimes drop her off and stuff. And one day she's like, hey, you wear a lot of blues and grays, which is generally what, when I'm dressing up in a suit or, dress shirt, I wear blues and grays. And she's like, well, that's, I know why. It's because boys can't wear pink. They can't wear pink. They'll get, I don't know, it's very cute. It's like she's, again, first grade. It's like they get, girl cooties or something if they wear pink. And she was really kind of obsessed with this idea that pink was just off limits. And so at one point over the next couple of weeks, I went to the department store and I bought a pink dress shirt. Pink dress shirt, put it on, put the suit jacket on there, took her to school, and she's looking at me in this pink suit. I'm like, no cooties. And she's like, I didn't think you're actually allowed. I'm like, yeah, it turns out you can do whatever the fuck you want. I didn't say fuck to her, but I'm like, turns out you can actually do whatever you want. You can dress however you want, do whatever you want. Yeah, there's limits, I told her. I said, if I go to work with no pants on, somebody's going to have a problem. But I can wear pink. It's okay. And I said, if you go to school and somebody tells you what kind of clothes you can wear, that person is a dick. I probably did say that because I use that word. I'm like, that person's a dick, and you avoid those people because those people are trying to tell you what to do. And what's the first rule of Gen X? Nobody tells you what to do. So anyway, I made her happy. And that's where I'm going to leave you with in this video. But it's like, look, again, you can believe whatever you want to believe. And you should be comfortable in that. And you should be confident in that. And if you've read the character is gay for 40 years, that's your business. I'm not going to, I'd be a fool to try and change your mind. Or rather, this would be the kind of conversation you have at like 3:30 in the afternoon in a comic store when you're bored out of your mind. It's like Tuesday, you're waiting for boxes to arrive and you're just trying to, bullshit with whatever topic comes up. That's really where that conversation belongs, and really nowhere else. It doesn't really make sense anywhere else. And so just if that's what you believe, just be confident and go with it. The end. It doesn't need to be more complicated than that. But what you can't do is try and invent magical proof that it was always this way. Because now you're asking me not to go with your opinion, which I'm willing to respect, and now you're asking me to actually change facts, solid facts, and that I'm just not in the mood for that. I can't do it. I wish more people were comfortable with that, because it would be in a hell of a lot happier place. If it's like, look, I will respect your opinion. I will respect, your thoughts and what you want to believe. I will respect it. But when you start pushing that opinion on me, like you've also got to believe this, then I have a problem. And this is a good analogy for a lot of things in the world today. Maybe again, it's the generation. I lived in the generation of you live and let live. That's none of your business. It's kind of like, that was the expression. That's really none of my business. But when you come in, and this is the problem with a lot of stuff in comics, it's not enough to just do it. You've got to then force people to believe that it was always that way. And of course, you're going to get pushback if you do that. Anyway, thanks for listening.